love you? Do we hate you? Why should you care? Cause we're the best damn review team out there. It's time to rate that album.
Hi, and welcome back to Rate That Album, the back and forth album review between myself, Joseph Fremming, and my good friend Paul Muad'Dib. Paul, don't you ever fuck around. Don't you ever fuck around.
What's my name? What's my name?
You think this is a game?
You think this is a game? Coming for you.
Yes, this week we are getting into the wild and woolly world of DMX, hip-hop artists from our generation.
From our generation.
Yeah, he came out in late 90s, New York rapper, very unique vocal delivery. I think he's probably one of the first with the gruff voice.
Yeah, he
was one of the earlier ones.
He was one of the early ones because him and Mystical, I think, came out around the same time. Yeah. But between the two, DMX just was a little cleaner, had more of a sense of beats. Mystical just kind of leaned into that voice and didn't do a whole lot production-wise, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And then later on, you had the Ja Rules and stuff, which I think DMX hated Ja Rule because he pretty much thought he just ripped off his style.
Pretty much what he did.
Yeah, DMX. His wiki is long and full of. He had a controversial life. He passed away a few years ago of a cocaine overdose. He was never shy about his addictions and his demons. And for the few years he was on fire, man, he was on fucking fire.
Dude, the talent on this guy, man.
Yeah, so I picked this album because there's a lot of so fucking catchy, but it was a mix between this and the album before it, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, because that one's fucking phenomenal too. But I went with this one because, frankly, Party Up is the song I pop in it, to kick things up a notch, and it usually gets me in trouble, Paul. I'm at a party and I pop in DMX, and it usually means something dark's about to happen.
Shit's about to go real.
Yeah, fuck. I was at a wedding last year, and the DJ popped it on, and I fucking lost my mind. So yeah,
nice.
As DMX would have wanted me to.
He would have wanted you to, as was his want, sir. As was his want. Yeah, and let's not forget too, DMX got in because I know about it because I watch shitty movies.
Yeah, so he did a movie with
he did
punching bag, Steven Seagal.
He sure the fuck did, sir.
And you know what I found of all those videos? I don't remember anything of DMX's experience. Do you think it's because he was more of the real deal of like, this guy could probably actually have Seagal fucking hurt? That he might have just shied away from pissing off DMX.
God, I watched another fucking interview, and there was this guy, this big martial artist, stuntman kind of thing, and he was told when Steven Seagal came on set, like, don't do this, and Steven, and it was don't tell him you know martial arts. And so he called, Steven Seagal master, and he goes, and Steven Seagal kind of picked up and went, oh, do you know martial arts? And he's like, yeah, I know XYZ. And like, I guess that was like the cue for Steven Seagal to put someone in his place. And Steven Seagal looked at the dude, realized he couldn't, said, we're changing the scene. We're going to talk and we're not going to fight. Like Steven didn't want to fight this guy because he thought in real life he could take him. So maybe, that seems to be Seagal's thing. Like, he can't separate reality from fantasy when he's making a movie. So if he thinks someone can beat him up, he kind of changes scenes. So yeah, I think so.
I don't even know if you thought it was DMX, but I mean, you listen to some of this shit, like, you know, if he's going by DMX's persona, crazy beats tough every time, and DMX falls in that crazy territory.
He does.
Yes.
He absolutely does. I mean, again, you look at this guy's criminal legal history. DMX is the real fucking deal.
Yeah. Yeah, he is interesting guy. Again, you know, he didn't hide his demons, his addictions, and oddly, his deep faith, which comes as a spoken word part on this album.
Right?
It just shows that, you know, this is like when, like, you know, we're talking last time about Cupcake, like, which objectively is the name of that artist, Paul. Objectively, there's no hidden agenda when I say Cupcake. It's objectively her stage name, Paul.
It's her name, Cupcake, with a capital K.
But like, there seems to be like with like DMX, it feels like there's more depth, more layers, and that might even come with age because, you know, he was a little older. I think he was probably 29 when this album came out. Born in 70.
Yeah, he was born in 70. I think this came out in 99.
Yeah, so he'd been about 29.
Yeah, about 29, 30.
Yeah, so he has a little more world weariness on him, and it shows on it. Again, I said Cupcake because there's no hidden agenda, Paul. Objectively, that's her. You know, just covering my bases here.
Hey, I protected you really well, I think, in that podcast. Both of us. I say both of us. There's a lot of. I don't think I've ever bleeped out any of our podcasts as much as that one.
Yeah, you're going crazy on me, Paul. And fuck. Anyway, so Paul, let's talk about. And then there was X. This kid, man, do you remember this album when we were in high school? I don't. I remember like hearing this all the time, like and seeing it won like best rap album at the Grammys in 2001. So like it feels like I heard this more when we were bar age and we'd be at bars. I don't remember a lot of my friends listening to this.
So if I remember correctly, I think I heard it at prom. Like the Up in Here, because that was big. But that people just listened to the sing, like nobody owned it. People just knew the song, and that was enough. But when you think about where we were, like this is an album that probably a lot of people
I feel like we had to know people who owned it. It's 5 times platinum.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think a lot of people in our middle white bread Midwestern town that it was, I think this was too raw for people. So I think they clinged onto the banger. Oh, DMX is cool, but that was about it. And then as we grew up and got to larger social circles, we knew people who owned it and that type of thing. That's the way I look at it. Because I don't know anyone in high school that owned it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, my roommate, when I first moved out of my parents' house, he had it. And I heard that. But, you know.
I take that back. Mojo, who I've brought up several times throughout the years of this podcast, my buddy Mojo, he did own it. I know that for a fact. He did own it. He was always, though, on top of things. Like he was DJing for KBSC before he was even in college, so he was always on top of like music and shit.
Okay, All right. So let's dig into this, Paul. We got about how many? We got quite a few tracks to go over. About 18.
Yeah.
With 2 skits.
3
skits. Yeah, we got the intro, and then. Yeah, we'll get in. Let's just get into it. Let's get into, and then there was X. And we were talking a little bit before the start. It was like I had forgotten how fucking catchy this album is, Paul. And my God, and for him to be doing like these hooks, and this is something I'm going to bring up because I miss like big hooks in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like these are like big hooks, and he's like singing it sometimes, and he's got like such like a gruff voice that in theory it'd be like it's kind of like Tom Waitsy ish, except like a little more testosterone. But yeah, it's wild because he sings like these hooks, and you just don't expect that when you hear his voice.
And here's I mean, yeah, I miss the hooks, but when you look at even great hip hop now, like it's the hooks, right? I mean, yeah, mumble. I mean, a lot of people don't even like mumble rap that like mumble rap. Like it's ironic, and that type of thing. But my God, the production on this, the hooks, the fact that he was involved in every single song, this is stellar. And I'm surprised more people haven't gone back to this well now that's 20, 30 years later, and grab some of this stuff for their beats, like straight up.
Yeah. And full, like, I went back to it after he passed away. I went and did a dive on his albums again because I hadn't heard them in so long. Like, I just never thought about listening to DMX. It just never crossed my mind. And, like, holy shit, he was, like, really fucking good. And then, like, he just, I know he was still working until he died, but, like, he had this window, like, late 90s into, like, maybe the mid 2000s where he was just fucking killing it.
Yeah, he was. I mean, there's a reason why Deadpool used fucking DMX, man. I mean, this guy, there is an undeniable vocal to him and a flow and the presence, yes. And he is one of those few people that recognizes it and leans into it, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah, and he's got so many. So let's get it. I'm going to skip over the kennel because it's just an intro. It's like the Motley Crue thing we talked about, like where they just kind of like have these intros. It doesn't do much for me. Did it do much for you, Paul?
I will admit, I like skits, and I miss skits in albums and stuff. Like a Sublime, Robin the Hood was one of the first albums I remember that had skits, and I absolutely fell in love with them. And then I'm like, there are certain things where like when I see a skit, I get excited about it. I like it because it's a way to set a tone for an album or break it up. And I will, when we get to one of the skits, I will say I didn't appreciate it because I didn't feel like it should have been used the way it should have. But when you have him kind of screaming with his voice and, bringing out the dog and it's the kennel, and then he goes right into One More Road to Cross, it fucking works. And it's better than fucking whatever was that crew that just had that nothing.
I feel like they're both the same, Paul. Like, I don't really care for like intros, and I hate skits. I can't stand them. Like, there's one on here I feel works because it pretty much leads into the next song and it kind of sets it up, which I'm okay with. But other than that, I fucking hate them. I can't save the skits for the Adam Sandlers of the world to put on his albums. Like, I don't give a shit. You're not funny. You're not a comedian. This isn't a concept album. Just fucking let it go.
Well, and that's fair. Again, I think honestly, it's almost like an homage to Michael Jackson. I think you can really tribute back to that in the way he did his music videos and how he almost everything he did really told a fucking story and had an intro skit and then the song and then an outro. So
some stories, Paul. Them little kids at Neverland. Oh, topical. Hashtag
topical. Hot take, Joe.
Hot take. That's a Joe hot take.
The Joe hot take. Get hot man. Gotta get in the hot tub. Hoo-ha.
What?
James Brown hot tub. Yeah, but again, it works. I think for me it works because again, it does kind of go. You get him getting the voice, and then like I said, just that opening of One More Road to Cross. That is a badass beat. I mean, that's a way to start really truly start an album is just with that track. It's so good. It's so
one
fucking
more
good.
road to cross, and it's just
Mhm.
this is, and again, it's catchy as the hook is fucking catchy,
Mhm.
and he's got like he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah,
at times. And like he has this line I love, and like it may like I kind of want to just say it. You know, I obviously I can't say it at work, but I kind of want to. And it's, I need this dough. The fuck you think I'm here for my health?
yeah, the lyrics, man. He could write lyrics, couldn't he?
Yeah, and these are like, they're dark, and like a lot of it's like, crime related and shit. But like there's elements too where it's like he's not glamorizing it because it's not really showing it in a great light.
Yeah, no. Make sure you're getting by. Don't fuck with you getting mine. Ain't the first time he ran off. Should have spit his shit. Then I hate to think of what he's did. And if I catch him slipping, won't be an ass whipping. I can tell you that. I kept it real with this cat. He go and sell 2 packs. Run. I mean, yeah, he's fucking telling it for the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And so and this is just this. I don't know. I'll check it. This should have been a single.
It absolutely should have.
Like,
been.
there's so many songs on here that, I mean, fuck. It's just, it's like Huey Lewis again, man. It's fucking like sometimes parts of this album's like banger after banger after banger, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man, settle down.
Yeah, no, I was doing the same thing with my notes. I was just like, okay, banger, on to the next banger. What can I critique here? Fucking banger, let's go. Yeah. Then we get to the professional. Now, I've always rated an album, and I know it's super weird, by the third track. If the third track is a good track, typically the album is good. And I can't explain that correlation and causation.
I'll tell you what it is, Paul. It's called OCD. I'll probably get some help for that.
The more you know. It's just something I've noticed. I saw it with like Radiohead, Pink Floyd. There's just so many. The Beatles. If the third track is a good track, you can rely on the album being good. And this is.
Are there exceptions to this? If you found, Paul, I am curious now.
There are. I don't have any. I think actually Steven Seagal is a prime example because I remember the third song was the best song on the album.
I mean, that's just a terrible album.
Yeah.
I mean, examples of a good album where the third song kind of sucks.
Oh yes, some Beck has done that.
He's notoriously bad for his third songs.
I wouldn't say he's notoriously bad, but
he's just terrible. That third song, he just shits the bed every time.
Fuck you. Anyways, I love the tonal shift. I love the fact that it's getting into, it's kind of altering the mood of the album already. It's not a concept album, but it definitely, the sequencing like and the flow. Yeah, Joe.
It does definitely feel like a concept album at times, and we'll get to that when we talk about Shorty, who keeps fucking things up. But the professional I like, because it's basically a song of, my interpretation, a hired killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is kind of like, a Dirty Deeds. Like, this is like hip hop's version of Dirty Deeds done dirt cheap.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And it's fucking great. I fucking love
it.
Pop.
There's just, and this is the thing, like, when you have, going back to Cupcake, objectively, that's just a name.
Objectively, her stage name is Cupcake, Paul.
Yes.
And we're not coming in, audience, we don't have any hidden agenda saying the word cupcake.
None at all. When you looked at some of the flow she was given and some of the beats she was giving, it was working, but where wasn't it working? It was the lyrics. When you're doing hip hop, you need those three to run on all 3 cylinders. It is, if one is not working, it typically is a total fail. There are some other bands, that type of thing, when you get into other genres of music where they have their own pillars. But really with hip hop, that's the 3 you have to fucking have. And when you see something like DMX, where you have the lyrics, you have the flow, you have the beat, fuck, this is great. I mean, it's gonna be that cat you don't see that's gonna pop you, stop you in your motherfucking tracks and drop you, get rid of all the clothes, dump the gun. I hate to be the type to leave you slumped and run, but I'm on the job right now, and there's more that needs to be done. Fucking A, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's totally. Yeah, it's Dirty D's done dirt cheap. Fucking A.
Yeah, and it's fucking good. Yeah, like in going back objectively to again,
Objectively.
like,
Objectively.
you know, she has like the skill and stuff, but she also didn't have like her voice just didn't have enough character. And like I've talked about that before with hip hop. Like for me, the artists that usually stand out is if there's something unique about their voice, because otherwise I feel like it gets lost in the sea. Because there's so many rappers. Like if your voice doesn't have character to me of some sort or something to make it distinctive, like it's hard for me to care.
I struggle because there tends to be, and I think this is a marketing thing, you usually have a pioneer vocally, and then out of the woodwork comes the clones. And you start to get to the point of, I don't know which female artist this was, or like the whole post-grunge thing. Which fucking band was that again? And when you, again, with hip hop, especially, your personality is on stage. Like with like rock bands and things like that, you can get away with certain things that I think you can't get away with hip hop, because you usually have either a strong vocalist, or God, you got that great guitarist, or my God, that drumming. There's something in there. But typically with hip hop, it's you and the beats. It's you and the production team. And you have to sell you. And there are a million of you. I mean, just like any other bands, there's a million bands. It's the ones that can really stand out that make it in that sea of generic. And again, what Cupcake objectively, saying her name objectively here, leaned into was the only four of the sexually explicit songs, but the rest of it, Joe, it's been a week, I don't remember any of it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember the one song.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but that's one of the
We had to
four.
bleep that out. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it again.
I'm not going to say the name objectively. But that's one of the four songs, though, that entire album relied on to be a standout. And it wasn't really her. It wasn't the way she was delivering it. It was just what she was saying and how she was saying it. So, yeah, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it. And again, getting into this next one, Fame, again, he knows how to lean into that charismatic persona he has that he can put through in his voice, and it is stellar.
Yeah, and kind of to piggyback, like I remember my dad's, because like when I first was trying to learn guitar, he's like, well, you know, for a band to succeed, you have to have a good singer, because you can be the greatest guitarist in the world, but if your singer sucks, nobody's going to know who you are. And that's pretty true 99% of the time.
I would say 99% of the time. There's
It's
been
not
exceptions.
always true, but like, you got to have something to grab people. And now we're going to Fame. Yeah, this again, the hook is so fucking catchy.
It's so fucking good.
And he's like, you know, I mean, he's gonna live forever. He's never gonna die, Paul. He's like the Highlander.
That was a documentary filmed in real time, sir.
Yeah, about DMX.
He never got a plate on time, but he grow. Yeah, it's so good. The hook is great. The beat's great. Again, what I love too so far, and we will get into it, what he's staying away from a lot of my lyrical critiques, which is repeating the same thing over and over. Now, he will cross that line. We know he will. But what's great is where you can see a lot of the talent is he's telling these stories in with this hook, and it is just fun. I mean, I imagine when I'm listening to some of these songs, like they were just blowing up in the fucking production room, like when these things were coming out, being like, yeah, we know we got fucking something here. You just know with these ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, nature of music is repetition, Paul. So I'm a little more forgiving on the lyrics repeating.
You are. You're more forgiving on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, objectively, that's how a song works, is a lot of repeating. Objectively. I have no hidden agenda there, Paul.
God damn you, Joe. It's fucking Christ.
You all right there, Paul?
I'm all right here, fucky.
Let's calm down, Paul. We have a lot to learn now, Paul.
we got 15 more tracks to go, bitches.
Yeah, a lot to learn. Sets up the downfall of poor Shorty.
Poor Shorty.
Rest in peace. It's basically, it's called a skit. Like, don't. It's just him smoking a blunt with like this jackass.
Yep.
And we find out going into "Here We Go Again," which again has another catchy hook.
Oh, it's so
this
good.
Is probably this is probably my favorite song on the album, just because it has a lot going on, and it's a story song, and a lot of conflicting emotions.
Yeah. It definitely, it's up there. It's up there with mine. There's another one coming later that I really enjoy, but what I have written here in my notes is again, the flow and the flow and the flow is fantastic, and it slows down with that last skit, again, giving it that concept album feel of, okay, here's a change in the album. We're going to go places. It doesn't stay that way, but it still gave it that vibe, and I was just like, I am in on that. I kicked it to Shorty, tried to help him understand, hit him with work, because that's my little man. He asked a few questions about the game, and I told him. So when he made a bad move, it was my place to scold him.
Yeah. And so, the game, it's the fucking life, making money. It's a business. And Shorty's fucking up. And it's pissing DMX off. And it's so like, I've been, I'm a big fan of Sopranos. So this kind of made me think, because, they very much similar. Like there's gangs in general. And they have their unwritten rules.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lines you don't cross. Shorty's crossing it. And he breaks the unbroken rule by letting Shorty live at one point. Because he loves him.
Because he loves him.
But he acknowledges he's fucking up when he's doing that, because it's fucking up the business. It's the game.
He's got to be.
It's intense.
It is intense.
He's like, he didn't want to. He wants to kill him. He knows, like, eventually he's going to have to kill this guy.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me like he's the Joe Pesci or like the Shield. For some reason, when I was listening to this, images of the Shield. That TV show was popping into my head for some reason, and it's a damn good fucking song.
Oh my god! It's such it's tragic. It is. This could have been like a glorified, like, this guy's fucked up, so I'm just gonna kill him. Like, this is like, man, I fucking love this guy. I can't just kill him.
Yep.
Because he's got to learn, but Shorty ain't learning, Paul. Shorty's not learning. He goes to the rivals and starting shit.
Mm-hmm. Here's how we play.
Shorty, according to that gun blast I hear at the end of the song.
Right. What you did was stupid, real fucking stupid. Well, Shorty, I gave you a chance, and what'd you do? You threw it in my fucking face, so fuck you too.
Yeah, confused my confused his niceness for a weakness and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
There's so many levels, and it's also kind of touching on the. I hate to be like, the New Yorker and talk about toxic masculinity, but it's dealing with some of that shit in here too.
It is absolutely.
Which is the level I was not assuming to be hitting on a DMX album, Paul. There's so many levels in this song, and I think that's why I love it, because there's so many. I think that's why I like that other song on the Cupcake album, because it's like conflicting emotions. I like more because the world's not black and white. We all have contradictions and internal struggles and shit like that. So like this song kind of represents that kind of shit, and I love it when it's portrayed this well. And again with a fucking hook, that's
so good.
Here we go again, same old shit, dog, different day.
I will say I'm with you on that, because, you know, I see a lot of like black and white mentality, and I'm like, how the fuck do you live that way? I live in the gray every fucking day.
There's
live in
nuances, the gray. There's things, mob mentality, and I'm seeing it everywhere, and it really grosses me out.
All or nothing mentality.
All or nothing, you know.
I've had to bail on friends. I've lost friends over it, because I'm like, I can't with your all or nothing, because that's not how the fucking world works.
I've gotten in arguments where people just stop being friends with me because, like, well, how can you see it that way? I'm like, because I don't see the world black and white. Like, people, there's always other sides to shit. Like, there's nuances and there's fucking context, and that's the thing I think is missing a lot in this world.
Well, and I bring this up. This is one of my favorite quotes, and it's from the show, old sci-fi show called Babylon 5. Understanding is a three-edged sword. Your side, their side, and the truth. And that's the thing. It's about getting into that gray and realizing that there's nuance in everything, and that maybe sometimes things aren't exactly 100% the way that it is. So yeah, I mean, there's times I'll get in arguments with people and I'll be like, but I see what you're saying, but can you see the point of view I'm coming across? And no, I can't. Then you're willfully ignorant.
Yeah. I mean, just at least try. That's the thing. I like try to see it from like, I often like, so, and I tell people, and younger people, like, we'll just be in conversation, and I'll say, like, yeah, I read Atlas Shrugged in college. Yep. And they'll be like, why? I'm like, I was interested in seeing how the other side thinks. And they're like, that just seems stupid. And I'm like, well, no, because one, I can see their point of view on things.
Yep.
And it allows me to empathize instead of seeing everything as like an enemy or somebody trying to just, you know, whatever. It's easy to fall into that black and white. And to quote Norm Macdonald on your sword quote, there's only one edge to a sword, Paul. Well, what the fuck?
No, that's not true. I will say, I hated Atlas Shrugged. I read it as well. I thought it was a terrible book.
It's not a good book, but
It's not a good book.
But I wanted to understand. And I've always been like, and I'm always trying to question my point of view, because it's easy to get caught up in your own asshole.
Oh, we all go to
like
our own echo chambers,
here, we got called out for Aaron Lewis, rightfully so. We got caught up in our own asshole about it.
Completely agree with you. Yep. 100%. Now, granted, I still hated that album. But
it was a bad album, Paul. But objectively, that was a bad
objectively, that was a bad album. But the way we went about our criticisms for it was not the right way. And I will concede to that we did hit a little too hard on the political side of it versus the technical side of it. Although
the technical side was nothing to write about either, Paul. Like,
right.
I would call it a wash instead of a
yeah. But it's hard not to get sucked up into it, especially when someone's bringing up those things. You're going, well, wait a minute, hold on a second. Why are you doing that? But here with this song, you're right. There's so much happening here. And it goes to show, I mean, it wasn't really talked about growing up in high school, but there were gang members in high school. And it was easy to see the loyalty that was there, like family, with some of those people. And, you know, it was that I can fuck with him, but you can't fuck with him attitude, you know? And so I get where they're coming from and hear kind of the toxic masculinity and him wanting to care for this person. Yeah, again, this is one of the 2 top songs for me on this album, hands down.
Next, we come to the perfect song. I know I've never said there's a perfect album, but Paul, this is a perfect song.
This is a perfect song.
This is a perfect fucking song.
This is a perfect song.
Party up in here. Yeah, man, like
it's so good. It opens great. The subtleness, like what's interesting to me is the key change or the chord change. Nowadays, I think you would have just had that same on, like it would just been up in here. We're gonna do that, and would have just stayed tonally the same. But the fact that it's mixing up and just that subtleness to it, and I was listening to it, I'm like, man, if this was made today, it'd be far more boring because they wouldn't have gone this extra mile with the production. I don't think.
No, the production, it's yeah. And then the lines are just hilarious too.
Have you seen the video?
The video is amazing.
The video is amazing. I actually watched it not too long ago.
I love the video.
Yeah, I watched it when we were doing this. No, all your man has been to jail before, suck my dick, and all the other cats you run with can get it done quick.
You think you're Superman. I got the kryptonite. Should I smack him with my dick or the mic?
There goes the gun click. 911 shit. All over some dumb shit. Ain't that some shit?
Paul, you remind me of a strip club because every time you come around, it's like, what? I got to get my dick sucked.
And I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, but I'm not him, all right, Slim? So watch what you do.
So it's funny, and it's got this weird aggression. It's perfect. I heard it at the bars all the time, and I'm still not sick of this song, Paul.
No.
I'll be at friends' houses. I'll go down the cities, and we'll have drinks and fuck around and shit, and then as soon as you see somebody step away from the wherever is playing music, I'm throwing this on. Once I'm 3 shit sheets to the wind, Paul, it's party up, and people have stared at me, and I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
That's all right.
Don't worry about it.
And you know what's so funny is people don't listen. They just hear the kind of the party. You're gonna make me lose my mind, and they think it's some kind of party chant. It is a great chant, but then you get down to the lyrics of it. He's like, no, he's fucking shit up, man.
1, 2, 3, me outside. Me outside.
I bring down rain so heavy it hurts the head. No more talking. Put him in the dirt instead.
Grandma, wishing your soul's at rest, but it's hard to digest the size of the hole in your chest.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
He could write lyrics, man.
He could write lyrics. Yeah, no, this is great. Grandma wish. Yeah, no, it's so good. It's so.
Can you imagine being behind the production board and he's like, yeah, I got this song. And then that shit comes out, you're like, holy fuck. What is happening?
Listen, your ass about to be missing. You know what's gonna find you? Some old man fishing.
Oh.
It's just perfect. It's just, it's got the humor, the aggression. Yeah.
This song's still on just about every mix I make for myself, Paul.
That's phenomenal.
You just got to throw it on there.
It belongs. It belongs. It's just so fucking good.
Fuck.
It's stellar as fuck.
Oh,
so
yeah, perfect song, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give you that.
Another fucking banger, Paul. Make a move.
Get
that money,
dude. I love the sample. I love the fucking sample. I love the beat in this one. It's just so fucking good, and he just goes for it. It's 2:00. I'm about to hit the street to knock off this rock. I don't get to eat. Oh my god, it's so good.
You're just sweating at this point listening to the album. You're like, fuck. It's just not letting up.
No, it's not. It really is just banger after banger after banger.
Is this what being on crack is like?
Crack. It's really good. It's good for you.
You're just sweating. Everything's going crazy on you all at once. That's what this album is. It's Macho Man getting all crazy on me.
The purple top 35 smalls is ringing bells because I'm crushing with the black 40 double L's. Oh my God, we chop up rock by midnight. We go up shop. It's 4 a.m. We're on the block creeping. Killing the cash flow. Your ass is sleeping. Yeah, no. So good. Yeah, I mean, it's crack in song form.
I'm all right with that, Paul. I'm actually okay with that.
I am too. I'm not gonna lie. I'll freebase this album. But then we get What These Bitches Want.
Yeah, this kind of brings the album to a halt, doesn't it?
It really.
I like the sample because it reminds me of like a Wu-Tang type song.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that like martial arts, like Shaw Brothers kind of sample, but it's just like, I don't know. Like I think it's funny you started naming off all his women.
Yeah.
I mean, that was but like, I don't know. It just didn't do much for me.
No, here's the thing. This is the notes I have. It has that dated Cisco feel, which I don't like. I never was a Cisco fan. He had a certain way of production, and it really brings it down. And I said, this is the first real weak song on the album. Dude, I can name off more women than he did in this album, but it doesn't make it interesting. It's just, it also, this is where it hits my pet peeve. Which is, it's a lot of the same, and I don't, maybe it's dated, it's whatever. It's filler. It's weird, but I'll bring this up too in some of the other songs later too. Well, I'll bring it up now because I'll talk about it when the other ones come up. But the ones that he typically -1, where he has a featuring guest on it, it takes away from what makes these so good, which is fucking DMX being goddamn front and center.
Yeah.
And doing his DMX thing. So you bring in Cisco and it kind of changes the vibe. And you're like, no.
A Cisco song featuring DMX, which should have not been the case on a DMX album.
Right. It's kind of like when Luda.
But maybe he needed a break, Paul. Maybe he needed a cocaine break or something.
He needed to go do a bump in the bathroom with Deborah Harry.
I don't know. I'm not judging him.
I'm not judging either. But it does. It's kind of silly when I see these kind of guests come on. You get people like Luda, where it's all about Luda, like everything. It's all like you could have an entire song going on about something else, and then Luda's gonna rap about Luda, and then you're gonna go back to the rest of it. Yeah, it feels like this. I mean, this is a Cisco song. It straight up is.
And I was never like you. I was never a fan of Cisco. Like I wasn't. I got the appeal when Cisco, because this around late '90s when Cisco was blowing up with forget that album. It was huge. Like I knew a lot of people who liked it. He just never did anything for me.
No. He, again, I get it because it was that.
Didn't he do the thong song?
Yeah. And that's again, that's what it was. Right, and so, you got the bitches be bitches where the fuck this is. Yeah, and
let's just move along.
Yeah.
I don't know if the thong song came in the equation. I'm upset.
No, that's fair enough. Now you got What's My Name? Great. Now we're back to it.
Yeah, we're back. You think this is a game?
You think this is a game? Dude, so good.
Yeah, so I wrote this was a high energy song. So I think this is like when DMX came out of the bathroom after a bump. Like, all right, let's get this back on track.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's just consider What These Bitches Want is his cocaine break. Like he's to go do a couple lines and then he's back in the zone.
one more time, I spit at you some shit that's gonna get you and be fucking with your mind. Stop talking shit, because you're running out there of your mouth and really don't know what you're fucking with. Here we go again. Man, a lot of people will be pissing him off that are his friends. Here we go, you stupid fucker. Seems to be a theme with the DMX.
Yeah, he's stuck. He's tired of these folks, Paul. Done with it. Fucking done with it.
He is. It's great though. This is right back to it. More to a song. It slows it down.
I like this song though.
I do too. And the flow is really good. Again, the way he utilizes his voice on this one. It's really good.
And it's also so when I was listening to this, it reminded me like a few years ago, and I looked it up because like there was like a thing where a rapper got mugged and like outside some store for his jewelry, and Ice-T was like he stepped in and he's like, why like Los Angeles rappers never wore jewelry because like people like real, you know, tough street people like DMX would fucking rob them.
Oh yeah.
And so like this then made me think of that. You know, like talking about jewels and how much you bust tools, you know, like how much the fuck your watch costs, and like later on he's talking about like he's wiping the blood off the watch because
yeah.
You know, it's like you guys are like you're kind of posing, and I think you know, this is kind of circuits, you know, what goes around comes around. It's like cycles, and you have the flashy rappers who are just showing off how much money they are. And then you have like, you know, the DMXs and the Ice-Ts. Like people know how much money we have. We don't need to be showing it off because we don't want to get robbed.
No, absolutely. Another rapper that used to bitch about this too was Busta. Busta used to fucking call people out for their shit all the time. Like, wear your tracksuit and shut the fuck up.
Well, it's just like if you flashing it, you must not want it.
Right. And that's kind of it. I mean, you dumb fuck. Next we get what I consider my favorite song on the album, which is "Don't You Ever."
Don't you ever fuck around.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, this is in an album full of great songs. This one's up there for me too.
I love it because to me it's the left turn of the album. And it kind of goes a different way. And I just, for whatever reason, if it's the tempo, the speed, the way he does it, it's really, really good. Like I should have did your peoples before they could conceive you. $1.50 sound for a quick ass cut. I'll have a flashback of fucking blow your bitch ass up. It ain't no problem. And a death wish, leave him breathless, hits his wife with a dead fish. Yeah. Oh my God. It's so great.
Yeah, he brings up blowing people up with bombs a couple times in this album. Oh, like,
DMX does not fuck around.
Like, talking about the bits and pieces.
Yeah, he does not fuck around.
No. Don't you ever fuck around with DMX?
No.
This album's also a cautionary tale for people. You don't fuck around with them.
No, fuck no. Fuck no. He's a professional. Blow your ass up.
Yeah. He'll steal your watch, kill you, and then wipe the blood off the next day.
I shit on people like a toilet because it takes because all it takes is a second for it to get hectic. So call it how much you want it, punk ass bitch, talking junk bitch. Oh my God. Fuck around. You'll be found in a trunk, bitch.
Oh my God.
It's genius.
Oh my God, it is.
It's fucking genius. I got more skills to show my flow kills. I fucking blow grills. You got some cold shit. Have you like, oh shit, don't laugh, money, because when I'm done with you, I'm getting your shit.
Oh my God.
So great. Yeah, I love this song. This is my favorite on the album. Now we get to the skit that I didn't feel worked. And again, because again, a skit should
Sounds like you're
kinda-
fucking around with DMX now, Paul.
I am fucking around with
I mean,
DMX.
just because he's dead doesn't mean you can't fuck your shit up.
I'm gonna be haunted by that motherfucker tonight. But
He's gonna slap you in the face with his dick.
I think this would have been better going in between What's My Name and More to a Song. Kind of break it up, because you kind of had some of those heavier ones and you had the 2 slow songs. Now you're getting into a skit. It was a sequencing thing. Which
This
goes
is him
into,
robbing and killing a guy.
yeah, that's true. And then you get DXL, which again,
It's got the features, but again, I like the 70s samples on it.
Yes,
it does, but like musically, you know, it's I like it, but again, it's when you got the other rappers on it, it just doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's really good solo. He does not need features on his. He didn't need. I'm sorry, he didn't need features on his albums.
Mm-hmm. He didn't. It slows it again. There's one in here that I like, and it's coming up. But
yeah. I think we're on the same one.
Yeah, I think we're on the same one too. Next we get Coming for Y'all. This one, I mean, both these 2 songs felt like filler. I didn't really care for Coming for.
Yeah, and the weird thing of this is like the chorus thing. It sounded like an Eminem song.
Yeah,
you know, it had like that Eminem cadence and like delivery, so that threw me off.
Yeah, and the other thing I didn't like about it was, I mean, he's been going hard these last couple, this whole album, really. But this one, the way he was coming out with the vocals, it felt half-hearted. Like, I don't know if he didn't really like the song, or if there was a bad day going on or something, but the way he was presenting and rapping and going about it, it feels muted, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, maybe it just didn't come together the way they wanted it to. That happens. It
does happen. And it just unfortunately comes off as filler.
Yeah. We come to now to Prayer 3, spoken word about dealing with, like, you know, his faith and his life. Again, I don't like spoken word shit, so.
All right. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be DMX, if you want to be someone that can really grab attention, listen to the cadence. Listen to how DMX presents himself here, because this is a masterclass in speech engagement. It's not exciting. It's very boring. It doesn't do anything. But when you listen to the way he does it, with the conviction, with the way he holds words, the way he says things, it is methodical and it comes off slick. It is genius, Joe.
Yep.
So
you want a master class on public speaking? Listen to Prayer 3.
Yes. That's all it's good for. All right. Next we get Angel. This is the one that works. I like that.
This. Yeah.
This should be the last song. This should
I like
been
the last song, so. But this should have been the last song. The last song, I think, should have gone somewhere else.
Right.
But the last track is technically a bonus track, so.
Okay, fair enough. So,
but this one was good because it's got that 70s vibe, like
it's got Regina Bell, who's awesome.
Yeah, and God, it's so fucking good, Paul. So fucking good.
It is so fucking good. But I will admit, Regina Bell's been around for a long time, and she is great. And, you know, if you don't know who she is, she's been around since the fucking 70s. I mean, the fact that she's doing a DMX album is crazy. She is just, yeah, I mean, you gotta, she does it right. And again, she doesn't take away. And I wonder if this is the thing. You had the other men, essentially, male vocals, trying to compete with what they know as a fucking strong male vocal. Right. It's hard. I mean, you going up with DMX, it doesn't work. But with a female or feminine featuring, it harmonizes, it enhances, it brings it out, and it brings out his harshness and it brings out her softness, and it creates this wonderful flow and tone.
And she's also been making music for years at this point. So
Mhm.
I think she probably has more intuitive on how to make a song work as opposed to fucking Cisco.
Yeah,
You know what I
well,
mean?
and again, Cisco is there for the poon. I'm just gonna call it for what I mean. That's all he is. That's all he had. That's if he got big singing songs about vagina. He is gonna bring everyone else around that fucking boat, and that's his fucking gravy train. And Cisco's no longer around. So where we're still talking about DMX.
Yep.
When's the last time anyone brought up Cisco in a fucking conversation? I tell you when, us. Couple songs ago.
Yeah, probably the first time in years, Paul. Years.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song is beautiful too. I love it. I love her vocal delivery, and the play between her and DMX is just so fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is great. Now, this is where you and I are going to differ, my friend. I did not like this last song, and I wonder if it was the sequencing thing.
I think it was because like I listened to this on its own because it did throw me off when I first heard it, and I just played like I stepped away from the album and went back, and I really liked it. It's a banger of a song. It's fun. It's it's fun and more light than the rest of the album. I think that's why it's a bonus track. Because I don't know where you would actually. It's just tacked on the end of this. Like I don't know where it would organically fit anywhere. But I like it. I like it a lot.
Maybe that's what it is. Because when I listened to it the first time, then it flowed to the next album. I was like, wait a minute, what? No, no, that's not how you end an album. So I think that's my problem. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that a good song's ended an album in the wrong way that I've been upset with. Yeah. So that's my bias.
Technically, this doesn't end the album because it's a bonus track.
Oh, sure, but it's there and it's at the end, so I'm calling it for what it is, for the way I heard it. But yes,
it's not DMX's fault. That's how you heard it.
Well, I'm not blaming DMX, motherfucker.
Sounds like you're fucking around with DMX, man. We heard what he does. I seen how this movie ended.
He's gonna hit my wife with a dead fish. Fuck. Fuck.
Oh, I believe that's a reference to The Godfather. So
I'm pretty sure it is. Shit, my house is gonna blow up, motherfucker. Goes to
Ronzi sleeps with the fishes, Paul.
What about Sonny?
Yeah. But no, I like this. It's fun. I like the dime. I like her vocal delivery. It's just a fun club song. I have nothing against it. And again, I'm such a sucker for women pop books and stuff. So like this was just right up my alley. Again, I had to step away because I too thought it was strange that this is how the album's going to end. But I stepped away and went back, and I enjoyed it a lot more when I just listened to it on its own.
That's fair. That's fair. And I think, I'll give you that. I will concede on that one, and I will say it, I will give it another go. I think it's just the placement of it.
Yeah. So I don't think it would organically fit anywhere. Like this could have just been a single.
Yeah, probably could have been an EP. Yeah.
Not just like this could have just been a single. Paul, sometimes you just need a single. You don't need to be boring people with filler on an EP if you only have the one song. The fuck is wrong with you, Paul?
I'm assy today. I don't know. Fucking, it's all the sushi. It's all the strip club sushi I ate before we fucking started recording this, buddy. And the cupcakes. Objectively, I was eating cupcakes.
I hope so. It's objectively.
Joe.
You're subjectively eating cupcakes, and then I think I'm going to have to cancel you.
So what was the aftermath? What did people think of this album, Joe?
Oh, dude, this was debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, Paul. Selling 698,000 copies in the first week. It was his third number 1 U.S. debut.
God damn.
Yeah. As of October 2009, it sold 4,950,000 copies in the United States. It did well, Paul. It was
Jesus Christ.
It was well received. Yeah, it's 5-time platinum at this point.
Yeah, it's rightfully so.
People liked it, Paul. It was.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's a fucking great album. So yeah, it was well received, Paul. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're expecting me to throw you a curveball, and then like, yeah, people hated this, except for the 5 million people who bought it.
I could see some critics being like, "What the fuck is this?" Back in 1999, but
yeah, even then, like critics were so, especially in the '90s, they just didn't get hip hop.
no, they didn't, and. God, DMX sure gave it to him, didn't he?
Yeah. Fucking right he did. Oh, you fucked around with him, Paul.
So, Joe, would you recommend this album?
Oh, absolutely. This is a fucking great album. It's like, fuck. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. This one's a no-brainer. Like, and I think we needed a no-brainer one. We've been pretty divisive and throwing curveballs the last few times, so I think we needed a good, steady album that you and I assumed we were going to be on the same page with.
Oh yeah, no, so, and we were. We definitely
we were on the same page. We didn't like the songs we didn't like. We were agreeing on it. So except for one. But that could have just been a sequencing order.
And I'm gonna concede there and say it was a sequencing thing because again, I am susceptible to that. Absolutely, I am.
So Paul.
Yes.
Would you recommend this album?
Would I recommend this album? It's no Porridge Radio. No, of course I'm going to recommend this fucking album. It's a goddamn banger through and through.
If you like not recommended this, but recommended Porridge Radio, I don't think I could ever talk to you again. That would have just been the end of the podcast. Like I would have just hung up this Skype meeting and just.
I mean, outside of the skits, there's objectively 2 filler tracks.
Yeah.
Other than that,
those are the features too.
Yeah, and those are the features. Other than that, it's banger after fucking banger. I mean, this
is like the sports of hip hop. You know, like when we lose to the sports, DMX did. And then there was X.
And did DMX have any right being this good? Probably not.
Probably not.
But he was. But he was. Goddamn it. Huey didn't deserve to be that good, but he fucking did it. So you know what? We run with it.
Yeah,
when it happens.
Sometimes when you're an artist, you just take the bull by the horns and fucking go for it.
And just fucking slap it with a dead fish. Fucking shit up. Give it the game, bitches. Yeah, no, it's so fucking good. Yeah, we did. We needed this really badly, I think, because well, let's get to plugs. Joe, do you have plugs?
Brown and I just for the joedown.blog, we reviewed Hudson Hawk. That was a fun movie.
Is that what you call it?
It was confusing. It was like 6 different movies happening at the same time. But
I remember my parents renting it and turning it off halfway through and being like, well, that was a waste of a night. Like they fucking hated it.
Yeah, it was the only movie I remember my dad saying he hated, and he was really worked up about it.
Now,
but
I'm going to bring up a little bit of a nerdum to you here. Did you know that the NES had a Hudson Hawk video game?
Yes, I did. I watched the Angry Video Game Nerd on it. I think that was it. I think he did one. I just watched some do a video on that game because I was confused as to why there was a.
It doesn't make any sense. I rented that game, and that game made no sense. But yeah, no. The AVGN definitely did a thing on it. I remember renting it as a kid, and it was absolute garbage. Why? Who decided that? How that marketing deal came about? I don't, because I don't even know who the movie Hudson Hawk was for, let alone the fucking video game.
I enjoyed it, but again, it was fucking. Once I'm in on the weirdness, I am just embraced it. So whatever. But yeah, it's. And then after that, our next one's gonna be Pretty Woman.
Nice. I wonder how that aged, by the way. I'm curious.
I watched half of it the other day. It's still entertaining for what it was. Yeah, there's some things that haven't aged well.
There is something I want to talk to you offline. I know you don't take requests at the Joe Down, but there's a movie I want to run by you just to see if it's something you're interested in. Because it just literally came across my radar last night that I did not know existed, and I'm trying to get my hands on it myself. So, but Joe, next week.
I know what this is because
you do know what this is.
Because
so
we brought it up last time that
we did.
There was a request, and it almost broke my vow to not take requests.
Joe, not only that, not only do we have one request, we have 3 requests from 3 different listeners.
We had another one in the past week.
Well, no, we had the one. Now we're up to 3. We're up to 3 requests. So
last week we only had 2, Paul. What's this third?
God. I know, buddy. So my next 3 ones are going to be requests. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to start with the first request, which is R. Kelly Trapped in a Closet, Part 1.
Fucking right it is.
Fucking right it is. I thought about doing all 3 parts, but I realized, Joe, we probably would have like a 2.5 hour long podcast.
The album just as part 1 through 10, I believe. And it's one of the most batshit insane movies I've seen in my life.
I need to watch this movie. I have it set up.
Because Paul, it really adds. It really adds to one of the characters shitting his pants.
Dude, I will say, I have it set aside for this weekend. One of these nights, I'm going to watch the movie. But that is request number 1. I will let you know the artists of the next 2 as well, just so you can prepare. We have a band called Cavetown and Imagine Dragons, which I never thought we were going to do an Imagine Dragons on this fucking podcast, but we're doing it.
Well, I'm going to kill myself, huh?
I'm giving it to you so you had time to prepare, sir.
Well, we got Imagine Dragons is, I still got some picks in between, so.
Hey, Joe, did you like Imagine Dragons?
No, I don't.
Imagine dragging these nuts across your face.
Some updog shit right there, Paul.
What's up, dog?
No, what's up?
Whoa, cool beans, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
fucking.
Yeah. So, no, dude, this was great. I'm fucking so glad you did it. I probably would have also enjoyed fucking Return to the 36 Chambers as well.
Yeah, well, that's we're gonna get to some old dirty bastard again.
Oh, yeah.
We always need a little old dirty bastard in our lives.
I remember, and I've looked him up over the years, and he never went anywhere. But he had a protege for a while. I don't know if you remember Shorty Shitstain.
Oh yeah, I remember Shorty.
Shorty Shitstain. Too bad Shorty never really went anywhere. Because God, I would love to do a Shorty Shitstain album.
Paul, let's just admit it. It was a miracle that old dirty bastard went anywhere. Like, objectively, he should have never made anything. But thank God for the RZA.
If it wasn't for the RZA, we're gonna get into it a little bit, I think, when we get in the ODB. But I remember watching the Howard Stern like after the Grammys when the whole thing went down with him being big baby Jesus and all that, and Howard like being like, dude, what's going on? And Old Dirty Bastard being like, I don't know. like I don't know. Like I got home, like I woke up, my phone was blowing up because apparently I did something at the Grammys I don't remember doing. And Howard's like, no. Like Howard really thought he was just making it up to save face. And Howard played it back for him. And when you look at ODB's face, I think it all came apparent in the room that he really was so fucked up that was just like him on autopilot.
Yeah. Old dirty bastard would do that.
Yeah.
That was kind of his thing, Paul.
It sure was, Joe. As we began this album, this review, we're gonna end it with "as was his wont, sir," because that's what it was. ODB's want. Joe, in between that, do we got anything else we need to discuss before we close her down for the night, buddy?
No, I think we're good. I think we're good.
All right,
Joe. We got to prepare for Trapped in the Closet because, Paul, this review was on the rails because we've been off the rails the last like 3 reviews since Hulk Hogan. And this one we're actually discussing things that we enjoyed without fucking going crazy. And next week we're going right off the rails. I'm just guaranteeing it because I've seen the music, I've seen the movie, and I've listened to the album. There's no fucking way we don't go off the rails on this. It's just it's baked into the DNA of that album. So it's just
oh, Joe, it's gonna be a blast, buddy.
Yes.
I'm always gonna be texting you during the movie, going, "What the fuck?"
It's gonna change your life.
I heard. Now, well, we'll get into it next week because I think we'll just leave all the off the rails shit for next week.
Yeah.
And
all right. Before people get mad at us, we're well aware that R. Kelly's a monster.
That was part of why, I will say right here, that was part of why the person wanted us to review it, because they heard us go into the monsterism that was Hulk Hogan and found it fascinating and hilarious, and they would like to see us dig into the monsterism that is R. Kelly and kind of just the shit show that he was. So strap in.
You got those documentaries then to dig through, Paul. We got a lot of research to do.
We got a lot of research to do, sir. So Joe, do you want to take us out?
No.
Did we love you? Did we hate you? Do you even care? Yes, you did. We're the best damn review team out there. How did we rate your album?